The train chugged slowly into the quaint village of Thamsar, nestled in the snow-clad mountains of Himachal Pradesh. The air was crisp and the pine forest whispered secrets to the winds. Naina stepped off the train, her breath forming soft clouds as she exhaled. It had been years since her last visit. She remembered the village from her childhood, warm smiles, steaming cups of chai, and endless fields blanketed in snow. But this time the village felt different. Over dinner at the homestay, Nana struck up a conversation with Meera, the young girl who helped around the house. The fire crackled between them, sending little embers swirling into the air. Outside, the wind whistled through the trees, threading its cold fingers through the night. Meera hesitated at first, her fingers tracing patterns on the wooden floor. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she spoke. "It was just a stomach ache," she said. "Just a little fever." She didn't look up. The firelight danced in her eyes, but there was no warmth in them. By morning, he couldn't sit up. By afternoon, he was gone. No doctor, no clinic, only prayers and the merciless cold. Naina felt something tighten in her chest. Outside, the wind howled, inside, the fire crackled, but between them there was only stillness. Naina's heart ached. The beauty of Thamsar, the postcard perfect views, and the serene quiet now seemed to reveal a harsh reality. The very remoteness that drew travelers like her had trapped the locals in a cycle of hardship. That night, as the temperatures dipped to -4 degrees Celsius, Naina sat outside, her thoughts a storm against the stillness. She knew she couldn't just leave with a few pretty photographs and memories. She had to do something. The resolve began as a whisper and grew into a promise. Months later, Naina returned to Thamsar not as a tourist but as a researcher. Her study focused on the healthcare crisis in remote Himalayan villages. She spoke to families, documented stories, and gathered data. Her papers shed light on the silent struggles of the mountain folk, weaving numbers with narrative that could not be ignored. Her work found its way to policymakers, advocates took up the cause, reports turned into discussions into actions. Budgets were reallocated, plans were drawn, promises for once were kept. And then, brick by brick, beam by beam, a modest yet fully functional healthcare center rose in Thamsar. Against the endless white of the mountains, the village's first hospital stood, a beacon of hope, a promise fulfilled. On her last visit before completing her thesis, Naina watched as a young nurse dressed a wound with practiced hands. She saw children with warm cheeks, their laughter filling the air. The thought crossed her mind. Perhaps one of them would grow to become a doctor, returning to serve the very land that raised them. As Naina boarded the train back to the city, she carried more than just research notes and accolades. She carried the hope of Thamsar, the quiet promise that sometimes changes arrive like the first snow, soft yet transforming the landscape forever.